My name is Dr. Maya Carter. I am 38 years old. I live in the sprawling city of Los Angeles, California. My work is here, in a small, unassuming hospital near the downtown core, where I serve as a gynecologist. Every single day, a river of women flows through my office doors. They arrive bearing their pain, their questions, their fears, and sometimes, a fragile glimmer of hope. My role extends far beyond treating their physical ailments. I am a keeper of their stories. Each narrative is unique, a thread in the vast tapestry of human experience, and each one leaves an indelible mark on me. My day begins in the pre-dawn quiet. I leave my apartment at 6:30 a.m. when the streets are still hushed and the sun is just beginning to cast its golden glow over the towering skyscrapers. I drive to the hospital, park my car in its designated spot, and enter through the quiet side door. The familiar greetings of the nurses are a comforting start to the day. I review the day's files, my eyes scanning the names. Some are new, strangers I am yet to meet. Some are familiar, women I have walked with on their journeys. And some names make my heart feel heavy, for I remember their faces, their tears, their silent struggles. My first patient this morning is a young woman named Jessica. She is only 17. She enters the room hesitantly, her mother a protective shadow beside her. Jessica's eyes are swollen and red, and her hands tremble in her lap. Fear radiates from her. Her mother is silent, her grip on her daughter's hand the only communication needed. I invite them to sit, my voice intentionally soft and calm. I ask Jessica how she is feeling. She tells me she is late, that a persistent pain has settled in her lower abdomen. She thinks she might be pregnant, her words barely a whisper. I offer no judgment, I never do. I reassure her that it is okay, that we will face this together. After a few gentle questions, I lead her to the exam room. I conduct the examination with care and run a quick test. A few minutes later, the result is clear. Yes, she is pregnant. Her eyes well up with fresh tears, while her mother remains a silent, stoic figure. I wait, giving them the space they need to process, to speak when they are ready. After they depart, I take a deep, steadying breath. This is how my days always begin, one profound story at a time. The next woman I see is Maria. She is in her early 40s, a cleaner at a downtown hotel, her voice carrying the soft, melodic accent of her Spanish heritage. Maria is a regular patient, visiting every few months for the debilitating pain that accompanies her periods. The pain is so intense it sometimes causes her to collapse at work. She cannot afford to miss many days. She has 2 children to support since her husband left years ago. She works tirelessly to provide for them. I examine her and suggest a new medication that might offer more relief. She thanks me profusely, her gratitude genuine and heartfelt. As always, she brings me a small gift. Today it is a shiny red apple. For the best doctor, she says. I smile, telling her I am simply doing my job. Later in the morning, I meet Alicia. At 34, she is a recent transplant from Texas. This is her first visit to my clinic. She is 6 months pregnant, radiant in a yellow dress, a notebook clutched in her hand. She meticulously writes down every word I say, determined to do everything perfectly for her baby. She is navigating this journey alone for now. Her husband is working in another city and won't be able to join her until the birth. Alicia is scared, and more than anything, she needs someone to listen. I check her baby's heartbeat. The strong, steady rhythm fills the room. I turn the screen towards her so she can see it. A smile breaks through her wet eyes. I needed this, she confesses. At noon, I have a brief 20-minute window for lunch. I sit by the window, eating a simple sandwich and drinking some water. The city outside is now fully awake, a symphony of car horns and human chatter. My thoughts, however, remain with the women I have seen. Each one carries a burden, a story that weighs heavily on her soul. After lunch, my patient is Helen. She is 60 years old, an elegant woman with a stylish hat and a cane. Helen tells me she has been feeling unwell. She admits she hasn't seen a doctor in over 10 years, paralyzed by fear. But now she needs to know. During the examination, I find something that concerns me. I deliver the news gently, choosing my words with care. She listens without a single blink. Then, with a calm that surprises me, she says, "I knew it." I ask if she has anyone at home to support her. "No," she replies, "she lives alone." I take her hand in mine, its skin thin and delicate, and tell her we will face this one step at a time. The rest of the afternoon is a blur of appointments. I see women from every walk of life, every age, every background. Some speak English fluently, others communicate through gestures and broken phrases. Some laugh, some cry, but all of them are in need of care. I strive to give each one my undivided attention, even if it is just for a few precious minutes. I look them in the eye. I listen. I explain complex medical information in simple terms. I never rush. They are more than just patients on a schedule. They are mothers, daughters, workers, students, and survivors. They have endured hardships I can only imagine. And still they come. Still they place their trust in me. As the sun begins its descent, casting long shadows across the city, I meet my last patient of the day. Her name is Amara. She is 26 and works in a demanding law office. She walks in with a quiet weariness, her face a mask of exhaustion. She says nothing at first. When I ask why she came, she replies, "I don't know what's wrong." I just feel sad all the time. An emptiness has consumed her. I close her file, stop typing, and give her my full attention. I ask if she feels any physical pain. She shakes her head. No pain, just a hollow void inside. We sit in silence for a moment. Then the story spills out. She suffered a miscarriage last year. Ever since, she has not been herself. No one understands, she says, her voice cracking. I tell her that I understand and that I am here for her. I give her the number of a compassionate counselor, a small beacon of hope in her darkness. When I finally leave the hospital, the sky is nearly dark. I walk to my car, my feet aching but my heart strangely full. The voices of the women I saw today echo in my mind. Their words, their stories stay with me. This is not just a job, it is my calling. In helping them heal, they also teach me. They are a constant reminder that behind every medical file there is a story. Behind every story there is a woman, and every woman matters. Before I continue my story, I find myself wondering about you, the person listening. Where are you in the world? Knowing that someone is hearing this, that these stories are connecting with a heart somewhere, gives me the strength to continue. The next morning, I wake to the same early alarm. My apartment is silent. I sip my coffee, gazing out at the waking city, the sky painted in hues of pink and blue. I think about the women I will see today, wondering about the new stories they will bring. In many ways, every day is different, yet every day is the same. At the hospital, my first patient arrives at 7:30 a.m. Her name is Li Mei, a recent immigrant from China. Her English is limited, so her husband often speaks for her. I ask how she feels. She touches her pregnant belly and says, "Baby, okay." The checkup confirms her baby is fine. She offers a small, tired smile. I ask her husband to step outside for a moment, wanting to speak with her alone. A flicker of nervousness crosses her face. I speak slowly, using simple words. I ask if she feels safe at home. She hesitates. Then she says he gets angry. Sometimes he shouts. Sometimes her voice trails off. I don't push her. Instead, I slip her a small card with a phone number for a women's shelter, a safe haven. She quickly takes it and hides it in her shoe. "You are not alone," I tell her. For the first time, she looks directly at me and her eyes smile. My second patient is Denise, a woman I know well. At 45, she is a mother of 3 and usually fills the room with her vibrant chatter. Today, she is uncharacteristically quiet. I gently ask what is wrong. Her husband lost his job, she explains. She is already working 2 shifts to make ends meet, with no time for rest. Her body is exhausted. My examination reveals nothing physically wrong, but I know that exhaustion can seep into the soul. I take her hand. "You are strong, Denise," I say, "but even the strongest women need to rest." She nods, tears welling in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispers. Later, I see Sophia, a college student in a hoodie and jeans, looking young and anxious. She thinks she has an infection and speaks in a rush of worried words. I ask her to take a slow, deep breath. The examination reveals a mild case, nothing serious. The relief that washes over her is palpable. She thanks me repeatedly. Before she leaves, she says, "I didn't know doctors could be this kind." Her words make me smile. Kindness is a vital part of the healing process. By noon, as I sit at my desk reviewing the afternoon's files, I think of the women in the waiting room. Some are afraid, some are angry, some are simply weary of waiting. But they all came. They all took that first courageous step to seek help. After lunch, I meet Claire. She is 50, vibrant with a bright scarf and red lipstick. She enters with a confident air, but as soon as the door closes, she begins to cry. "It's menopause," she says. "I feel like I'm going crazy." She tells me about her sleepless nights, the constant hot flashes, the unpredictable mood swings. I nod, listening patiently. I explain the biological changes happening in her body, assuring her that what she is experiencing is normal. It is not her fault. She laughs through her tears. "Thank you," she says. "I thought I was losing my mind." Next is Jasmine, 22 years old, here for a routine checkup. She has no health issues, but she is full of questions. She wants to understand her body, learn about birth control, and make informed choices. I answer every question, explaining everything slowly and clearly. She listens intently. At the end, she says, "No one ever taught me this before. Not in school, not at home. You deserve to know," I tell her. "Your body is yours." Later in the day, a woman named Nena arrives. She is pale and very quiet. She hands me a report without a word. I read it and see the diagnosis, early-stage cancer. She looks at me with wide, frightened eyes. "Is it bad?" she asks. I take a deep breath and speak gently. "It's early. We can treat this." "You have time." She nods slowly, absorbing the information. She doesn't cry. She simply says, "Thank you for being honest." In the last hour of my day, I see Emily, a teenager who is only 15. Her aunt brought her. Her face is a canvas of fear, and she refuses to speak. Her aunt explains that she has stopped eating and has lost a significant amount of weight. I ask to speak with Emily alone. At first, she remains silent. Then, in a voice so small I can barely hear it, she reveals her secret. She was violated by someone she trusted, a member of her own family. A sharp pain pierces my heart. I listen without interruption. I tell her that she did nothing wrong. I immediately call a social worker and stay with her until help arrives. Her story is not mine to fix, but I can be there to hold the first shattered piece of her pain. When my shift is over, I sit alone in the quiet break room. I close my eyes, replaying the day's events. It was a day full of pain, full of strength, full of women who placed their trust in me. I am tired, but I am also profoundly grateful. I think of the countless stories I have been privileged to hear. Some are joyful, some are heartbreaking, and some will forever reside in my heart. I think of every woman who walks through my door. Each one brings more than just a body needing treatment. She brings a life story, and I do my best to honor it. I turn off the lights in my office and walk to my car. The city is alive with evening traffic, the sky painted orange by the setting sun. I drive home in silence, my mind already on tomorrow. I will open my door again. I will listen again. I will care again, because this is more than medicine. This is a promise to see, to listen, and to never forget the women who entrust me with their truth. The following day, a gray sky hangs over the city, the air feeling heavy with unspoken words. I put on my white coat, a familiar armor, and walk into the hospital. The hallways, quiet at first, soon fill with the sounds of a new day. Voices, footsteps, and the soft cries from the waiting room. It is a normal day, yet it is never truly normal. Not in my office. My first patient is Priya. She is 32, originally from India and 6 months pregnant. Her husband is at work, so she came alone. Priya sits on the edge of the exam table, a knot of nervousness in her posture. I greet her warmly. She tells me about a pain she feels when she sleeps. I gently check her belly and feel the baby move beneath my hand. The heartbeat is strong and steady. I reassure her that everything is fine, but she must get more rest. Priya sighs. I work all day, she says. I clean houses, then I cook for my in-laws. There is no time to rest. Your baby needs you to rest, I tell her, my voice firm but kind. For the first time, a small smile touches her lips. Then I will try, she promises. I place a hand on hers, a gesture of solidarity. The next woman is Grace. At 28, she works at a bank and desperately wants to become a mother. She and her husband have been trying for 2 years, and each month ends in the same quiet heartbreak. She comes to me with a list of questions, her voice steady but her eyes betraying her deep sorrow. I run a few tests and explain the results. Physically, nothing appears to be wrong. I tell her that sometimes, even when everything looks perfect, the body simply waits. The heart waits. Don't lose hope, I urge her. Not yet. She closes her eyes for a moment. Thank you, she says. That's all I needed to hear. After Grace leaves, I take a rare break. Sitting at my desk, I look at a framed photo from my medical school graduation. I remember the immense pride on my parents' faces. That photo serves as a constant reminder of my purpose. It's not for the money or the prestige, but for the women who enter this room every day, hoping for nothing more than to be heard. My next patient is Carla, who is 39. She has endured the pain of 5 miscarriages. Today, she is pregnant again, just 4 weeks along. She is terrified. I don't want to get happy, she admits. Not yet. I understand her reluctance to embrace hope. I check her with extreme care, speaking in a soothing tone. So far, everything looks good, I tell her, outlining a plan for her care. Before she leaves, she turns to me. Even if I lose this one, too, she says, thank you for giving me a little bit of hope today. Words fail me, so I just place my hand on her shoulder in a moment of shared understanding. Later, I see Fatima, a 19-year-old who arrives with her sister, her head covered by a hijab. Her English is limited, so I call for a translator. She has been suffering from sharp, debilitating period pain. My examination reveals an underlying condition. I explain what I see slowly and clearly, using simple diagrams. I can see from her wide eyes that no one has ever explained these things to her before. Her sister thanks me repeatedly. In our family, no one talks about this, she says. But now, my sister understands her own body. I also meet Rachel, a 41-year-old who recently finished chemotherapy. Her hair is just beginning to grow back, soft and new. She smiles frequently, a brave facade over her exhaustion. She is here for a routine checkup. I just want to know if I'm still okay, she says. I perform all the necessary checks and review her scans. I tell her she is doing very well. Tears of relief stream down her face. Thank you, she says. You are the first doctor who has made me feel safe again. I give her a warm hug before she goes. As my day draws to a close, I see my final patient, Lola. She is 30 and works as a dancer at a club. She sits with her arms crossed defensively, her makeup dark and bold. I'm not here for your pity, Doc, she says, her voice strong. I smile gently. You won't get any from me, I reply. She lets out a short, surprised laugh. She tells me she found a lump. She waited 2 months, afraid to come in, but it's getting bigger. I ask my questions and perform the exam, taking a sample for the lab. As I work, she says, I've had bad doctors before, ones who didn't listen, who just judged me. But not you. You make me feel like a person. I look at her and say, that's because you are. When I finally leave work, the sky is dark. I walk to my car, passing the emergency room, hearing the distant sounds of life and crisis. Here, pain never sleeps, but we continue to show up. We continue to try. At home, I take off my coat and wash my hands, scrubbing away the physical remnants of the day. I heat some soup and sit at my kitchen table in silence. I think about the women I met. Each one left me with a piece of their truth, a fragment of their fear, a glimpse of their incredible strength. Some days I wonder how much more pain I can absorb, but then I remember that I do not carry it alone. They carry it with me, and that shared burden is what allows me to keep going. I think of the young girl whispering her fear, the mother working 2 jobs, the woman who aches for a child, the brave dancer who faced her fear. These women are not weak. They are not just patients. They are warriors fighting quiet battles. And I am honored to be a witness, to walk beside them for a small part of their journey. I look out my window at the bright city lights. Somewhere out there, a woman is crying. Somewhere another is laughing. Life goes on. Pain goes on, and so does healing. Tomorrow I will open my door again. I will sit down across from another woman. I will say, tell me what's wrong. And I will listen. Because this is more than a job. This is more than medicine. This is a sacred space where truth is told, where shame is laid to rest, and where healing can finally begin. This is my life. And these are the stories women tell me. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing. Your support allows me to bring more emotional and inspiring stories to you soon.